Hello, this is Dr. Darnise, and welcome back into another episode. And hey, I have a question for you. In your spiritual practice, are you actively calling upon your angels, calling upon your ancestors? Because it's one thing to say we have a practice, but in actuality, we don't apply it to our everyday lives. We'll have like a time when we go to our altar. We might even have meditation time, prayer time, or whatever. But those things seem to be separate, almost like going to church once a week and then you don't do anything else. And so my question is, do you actively integrate like calling upon the divine in your everyday life? And I want to tell you a story about how I do all the time. One, I have a shopping cart story, and then I have another story. Shopping cart. Yeah. But I want to encourage you, really, the point of this video is to encourage you to call upon your divine help. We should not think that, it has to be some really big occasion or some dire emergency before we reach out to the divine, because the divine presence is always here and always listening and always waiting. And so I say to my clients all the time, give your angel something to do. Imagine that they're just hovering around, like, I wonder what we got going on today. Like, give them an assignment every day. So, okay, I said I'm going to tell you a story. And I'll be curious for your own stories too, or at least a little bit of your own story. Um, Okay, so one of them, well, okay, two. One of them is the shopping cart story. I may have shared it on here before because it's kind of like a manifestation story. But the reason this manifestation works so well is because I call on divine help. Now, I don't like going to the grocery store. It is just one of those things I hate doing. I got to go all the time, right? But I really don't like it. So every time I go, I just get a hand basket because I think I'm not going to be in here long. I'm not getting that much stuff. And of course, I end up with too much stuff that goes in that basket and I need a cart. And so I have an arrangement with my angel. I will just look up, girl, I need a cart. And then there's a cart. Honest to God, it is my every, I was gonna say every day, every time I go in the store, we have an arrangement. And that's what I want to encourage you. Have an ongoing relationship with your angels, with your ancestors, with your divine helpers, because that's how you get to know what it is like to be in relationship with the divine instead of saying, I don't know how to meditate, or I don't know if that's really an answer from the divine. Because sometimes you're like, I don't know if that is, or maybe I'm making it up. Well, if you're in regular relationship, then you kind of understand what it feels like and how it shows up for you. So, some people manifest parking spaces, right? Like when I was in LA and, parking is a challenge. So, then I would ask for parking spaces too. But now I don't have to because I'm in Georgia. But so the grocery store, the shopping cart thing. Okay. And the second story is okay, this is when I was basically asking for directions. And again, when I was living in LA, I lived in LA for, I don't know, 20 years, it seems like. And so one day I needed to go somewhere in LA, but I didn't remember exactly how to get there. Now you're going to say, why didn't you just look for the address? Why didn't you put it in GPS? I had deleted the text message with the address. And this was a few years back, and I did not know how to retrieve a deleted text. I probably still don't know how to retrieve a deleted text. So I had deleted the text with the information on it, and time was a ticking. I needed to be leaving my house so I could get to this location on time. And it was important to me to get there. It wasn't like, oh, well, guess I'm not going, or who can I call? There wasn't anybody I could call either. Anyway, it was just a weird scenario. And I was like, well, I have to go. And it's someplace I had been one time before. I had been one time before. And I was like, okay, I know part of the way, right? Because I know LA. So I know part of the way. So I said to my angel, okay, girl, you're going to have to tell me how to get there. After I get to the point where I know, you're going to have to drop in the information of what to do next. So I got in my car and I went the route that I knew to go. And then I was like, ooh, okay, this is getting to where the part where I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And it was an intersection. And I was like, I don't know which way I'm supposed to turn. I don't know. And so then it's like, oh, okay. And you're at the light, you got to make a decision. So even as I approach the light, I'm like, okay, I got to get in which lane, which lane, which lane. I said, well, I don't know. Let me just get in the right lane. I'm just gonna turn right. I'm gonna turn right, and if it's not it, she'll tell me. Is what I thought. She'll just tell me if it's wrong. So I got in the lane. I turned right, and I'm going along, and I was like, ooh, I don't know, I don't know. It didn't look familiar. I was like, I don't know. And then, but because LA traffic, it was too hard to just turn around and go back right then. So I was like, well, I'm gonna just go with it for a while. I'm not getting a message to turn around. I wasn't getting any sort of guidance that said, you're going the wrong way. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go with it, right? Until something in me says this doesn't feel right. And so I kept going. And lo and behold, I finally get to a place that looks familiar. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember now. There's that building. That's where I need to go. So, anyway, it's my story of just trusting your divine guidance. But in order to trust the divine guidance, you have to have a regular relationship with it, him, her, however you want to interact, so that you know what it's like when it shows up. Otherwise, you'll be in your head second guessing, triple guessing all the time. Is this right? Is that right? Is this right? And you'll want to ask everybody else, does this seem right? Am I? No, when you have an understanding about this is how I relate to my angel, to my ancestor, to my divine guidance, I know this is what I'm supposed to do right now. And so, these are everyday kind of circumstances that I want to encourage us to integrate into our lives. Don't think that, oh, you have to have a big, huge ask or be in a dire emergency. They're there for everyday use as well. And then by the time, if you get to an emergency situation, then you'll be like, okay, I know what it is to check in, and I know her by name, right? In my case, I asked some years ago. I said, well, should I call you any particular name? And she gave me a name. And that's not for everybody to know. So ask your guidance. What should I call you? Or how will I know you? Show me a sign where I will know you. Right. And so, anyway, this is just a little quick message to come on and encourage you to engage with your own divine helpers. And if you know that you need some coaching on this side, right, in the 3D, then you can always reach out to me and see if we can help you here on this side too, help you with some of the mundane things of your spiritual path. Let me know if you need some help with that. My link is always in the description box to book a consult. What else is in the description box? The African American course that I created, African American History and Religion course, is in the description box. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the description box. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you also like, share, and subscribe, and all that. We are almost at 4,000 subscribers, so that will help me out on the channel. And that's it. I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.